American Jews, they're blind.
How?
They support, so socialism was very famous for discriminating Jewish people in Soviet Union.
Right.
They were very famous.
Right.
Stalin executed a lot of famous Jewish writers, movie makers, you know, fascinating people, magnificent people.
But
So
American Jews voted more than 70% for the Democrats. Do you think that they recognize that there's some nefarious communist, socialist aspect, an autocracy coming through the Democrats?
those who are voting for Democrat, they don't realize. They still think it's the party of 1980s or 1990s. They did not see, they don't see that it was hijacked a long time ago, years ago already, by a very, very radical left. And Democratic Party, basically all slogans are now on the right. Everybody. Pro-minority, anti-war, strong military, strong family union, it's all on the right now. All policies the Democrats supported in the 1990s, they all moved. So basically, you know, you hear, I didn't change, party changed. So they shouldn't vote for party, they should look at policies. And pro-minority president, pro-poor president, anti-poverty, who took out of poverty a lot of people, millions, was our President Trump, actually. If you look at statistics, that's why more than 20% voted for him. Of black people, more than 20%, and Hispanics 40% voted for him.
How about former Soviet Union Jews?
They all support President Trump.
They're more Republican than Democrat?
Absolutely, I cannot say all, obviously, but majority of my friends, probably 90%, probably 5% of my friends support President Trump.
Why?
Because they see what Democrats are into. They see that all those signs at Soviet Union, and Jews suffered more than non-Jewish people in Soviet Union. More, number one, they suffered. My mom was a very smart mathematician. She worked for a research academy. And she wrote this little brochure. She invented something. She was kind of like software engineer in the 1980s. And her name wouldn't even be on top because she was Jewish. So her boss put himself as a writer. More than that, she discovered she fixed very, very big problem in Moscow. She was working for this company that produced first computers. And nobody could figure out. She figured out, and her boss said, "That's it. You living in I'm keeping you in Moscow. I'm promoting you as a manager." And she laughed at his face. It was, I think, 60s, 1960s, early 60s. She's like, "Why are you laughing? Nobody gonna hire me as a manager." "What do you mean? Look at my passport. I'm a Jew." Everybody in Soviet Union, in their passport, they could see who you are: Jewish, Armenian, Georgians, on purpose, so they can discriminate you appropriately. And he said, "What are you talking? It's nonsense," because it was an official policy. It was never written on any piece of paper. It was unofficial. And next day when she came to the office, he said, "You're right. They don't want to promote you. They don't want to even keep you in Moscow because you're Jewish." My dad was discriminated all his life, basically. So Jewish Soviet immigrants, especially those who came to America in the 1970s, during really, really rough times when they were laughed at, made fun of before, with only $70 in the pocket, they are the biggest supporters of President Trump because they know what he stands for. And it's not even about Israel. It's what he stands for: freedom in America, for freedom of speech, for equality. He stands for true equality. He doesn't differentiate between Jewish, non-Jewish, black, non-black. He never. And Democrats, identity politics is the beginning of socialism. The reason they do identity politics because next step they're going to issue a document where your box going to be on your document. It's going to say you're black, or you're Christian, or you're Jewish, or you're Muslim. Those identity politics are a very bad sign. Those are the sign of discrimination and sign of socialism.
Were you aware of the American Jewish activists who lobbied and would demonstrate in order to get Soviet Jews released?
Not until I moved here. And when I started meeting people, I thought, oh my God, thank you so much because of you. Absolutely, yeah. And I attended a few lectures here with the history of that. There was this famous escape, right, and a plane. Somebody, something like that, I forgot.
Yeah.
And they were thrown into prison and they were supposed to be shot. So person from that plane was speaking at my Chabad.
Wow.
It was fascinating. And he wrote a book.
Why isn't there more awareness in your generation of the work that the Americans did to pressure the Soviets politically to release your relatives?
No pressure in this generation?
Yes. Why is it not taught?
Because it gets forgotten quickly, because it was 1970s. So this generation of 1990s, of 2000 millennials, everything is nice. They haven't lived through the discrimination. They don't know what it's like. And American Jews who were born here, majority of them, they never experienced true Jew hatred. They never. They were never thrown out of college because they were Jewish. They were never not promoted because they were Jewish. Maybe name calling, but it's nothing. Everybody gets name calling in school. So when you don't know what Jew hatred is on a government level, perhaps you cannot recognize it. And I'm trying to educate my Jewish American friends on that. They say, no, Democrats are for Israel. Democrats for Israel. And when I send them the statistic of voting, where 70% vote against Israel, they're just silent. So it's almost like they're treating Democratic Party now as a cult, not as a party. Doesn't matter what they do, we're still gonna vote for them. I called it cult. It's no more politics, because politics, you have to vote for policies, not for a label.
But it's a cult that could be suicidal.
Absolutely, and number one, Jews are number one target. From the policy Democratic Party toward Israel, you can see the number one target will be Jews. They are already.
But American Jews don't see how policies against Israel or anti-Zionism affects us.
Not yet, but there is improvement. In Florida, I read somewhere, this election, 45% of Jews in Florida voted for Republican Party. That's a big progress.
You're encouraged.
Yes, when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, thank God. I'm going to move to Florida now.